Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, But Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers Season 3, Episode 5, An Indecent Thanksgiving Proposal, and Episode 6, The Deepening. So, we're going to start with a synopsis for An Indecent Thanksgiving Proposal. It's Thanksgiving, Bob's favorite holiday. Fish Odor is hoping to woo his way into an old flame's heart, but she only seems to be interested in married men. He offers 5 months of no rent for the Belchers if they join him for Thanksgiving and pretend to be his family and Bob the cook. Bob discovers a bottle of absinthe while cooking, and the family refuses to sneak away for the Belcher Thanksgiving traditions. It's a little chaotic.
Yes, a little bit. It's appropriate chaos.
It's appropriate chaos. And as always, we like to start with the puns in the opening credits. And these are some interesting ones. Did you get the vacant storefront?
I did. It's colonial baloney.
Is it Colonel or
Yeah,
it's Colonial.
I think it's colonial.
Yeah, and then the secondary sign is it says it's a house-shaped sign, but I'm looking at the picture and it's not house-shaped, it's just a sign. So,
Okay.
They were wrong on that on the wiki. And it says, "Get your Thanksgiving bologna now."
No, thank you.
Nope, I'm good.
I'm okay.
And then the pest control van.
Okay, I'm gonna try and pronounce this. Last of the Mousehikins, I guess.
Yeah, and it's the play on the novel / film The Last of the Mohicans. The sign includes a tomahawk, and it's the only truck that has the logo on the door.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have one burger of the day.
It was Plymouth Roquefort burger.
Yep, it's a pun on Plymouth Rock.
With the most disgusting cheese.
Exactly.
Like, I like cheese, but not Roquefort. No, I'm good.
No, I'm on the same page as you. So this was our first Thanksgiving episode.
It was our first Thanksgiving episode. I was very happy about it. It was good.
I'm not usually a Thanksgiving person, but this is one of the few things I get to look forward to for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving episodes are a must in Bob's Burgers. Like, we get them a lot.
I feel like with a lot of shows that do holiday episodes, a lot of them don't do Thanksgiving episodes. And if they do, it's only ever Thanksgiving that goes completely bonkers, which, to be fair, this one does. But I feel like you don't get Thanksgiving episodes as often as you get other holidays.
I have to agree, and I've kind of noticed that ever since Bob started doing their Thanksgiving episodes, other shows followed. We started seeing, I remember now that we've had a couple of American Dad Thanksgiving episodes since, as well as Family Guy, because they all come on the same night, the Animation Domination.
Yeah.
And there's a new show I need you to watch that's a part of that now.
Adding to the never-ending list of shows and movies that Katie tells Lauren to watch on a podcast about sharing media that they've never seen.
There's a reason why you have to watch this one, though.
Oh.
Hannah Waddingham plays a goddess.
Oh, I have seen trailers for that.
We've been watching it like an episode or two a night.
Is it on Hulu?
She plays it's on Hulu. Okay. She plays the Greek goddess of she's Deliria.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
It's so good.
I will be watching that.
And of course it's Hannah, and then the guest stars, like, I mean, some big names. Like, the last episode had Ben Stiller and John DiMaggio.
Oh, wow.
And so we're just sitting here, like, you hear these voices and you're just like, wait a minute, who is this? And you can't help but look.
Just for Hannah Waddingham alone, because she's right there, like, she's top of the list of people that she could read from the phone book. I'm just listening to her talk for hours on end.
Exactly. So that's not a thing of like, oh, you need to go watch this because I think it's wonderful. No, you need to go watch because Hannah Waddingham is in it, and you just get to hear her wonderful voice the entire time. She can really do anything. I mean, she's done Ted Lasso. She's been on, is it West End? Is what they call it?
Yeah, West End.
Thank you. I had that correct. And now she's just doing adult cartoons. Like, it's hilarious. She will literally do anything, and I love it.
Well, isn't she's an opera singer, isn't she?
Yes, she's also an opera singer. She can do anything.
So vocal technique is her thing, so
it makes me very happy. And then, of course, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's true. She's also just tall and beautiful.
Yes. If you guys thought we loved Megan Mullally as much as we do, Hannah Waddingham is definitely on that list as well.
Megan Mullally, Lana Parrilla, Hannah Waddingham. The list goes on, and quite frankly, with Once Upon a Time, the list will go on and on.
Yeah. Okay, so this episode did make a reference to the Japanese animated film My Neighbor Totoro.
Okay, I wrote that down
Okay.
because during the absinthe
Induced.
induced hallucination, I wrote down, oh, for a second I thought Lance was going to turn into Mary Poppins and fly away, but then I went, but is this a My Neighbor Totoro reference? Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, because it's Lance the turkey comes to life, and it says even in Bob's absinthe-induced dream.
Yeah, once I saw the umbrella thing, I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay.
Did you pick up which child won the most tickets for Mr. Fischoeder's best kid contest?
I wasn't counting. I'm going to assume it was Louise, though.
It was Louise, and she got to pick her prize.
Yeah,
did you see what the prize was?
Right, she got the painting at the end.
She took the painting.
Of all the things to take from that house.
Well, it's cute too, because at the end of the episode, she's hanging the family portrait in their kitchen at home.
Of course.
And she says that the painting will now grow old for her so that she can stay 9 forever.
Oh, that's a picture of Dorian Gray reference.
Yup.
I am an English. I have a degree. I have a bachelor's degree in English literature and a master's degree in library science. I should have picked up on that.
I'm surprised you didn't. I thought you would.
I didn't until you just said that.
So I did, of course, start off my notes with like, oh, Bob's love for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is his favorite holiday. Mm-hmm. And it's very apparent. Every year he tries to do better than he did the year before.
Yeah. Which is on brand for him.
Oh, it's wonderful. This was one of the things that made me kind of enjoy Thanksgiving a little bit more, because I've never been the biggest fan of Thanksgiving due to like the origins of the holiday. And
no, that's fair.
I'm not a huge fan. And that's also a day that, the whole family gets together, which isn't good for everybody.
Yeah, no,
it can be stress-inducing. But I love to cook. Like, cooking is my other hobby. I absolutely love it. I now make most of the side dishes for Thanksgiving. So I get about as excited as Bob does just for the cooking aspect, because I make like my homemade mac and cheese. My sister usually does the mashed potatoes. I think I'm doing those this year. I make my own homemade rolls from scratch. I mean, you name it, I make it.
Yeah, I am this year. I have been put in charge. Well, not in charge of, but I am on helper duty. For making. My dad's gonna make steamed dumplings as an appetizer. We make them from scratch. We don't make the dough from scratch. We buy them from the Asian market that's by us. But he makes the filling. He does like all the stuff with like the cabbage and everything. He does all the stuff that you're supposed to do. We make those, and then I am always and forever in charge of the dumpling sauce, which is not complicated, and I've sent you the recipe for it.
Yes, I like that dumpling sauce.
It's a good dumpling sauce. I put in twice as much sugar as you're supposed to, because I think that's because the original. Here's Lauren's cooking. Why is it always my cooking lessons that we do on these episodes?
I don't know.
You're the one that cooks.
I'm the one that cooks from scratch and does all these like fancy recipes, and
I'm the one that takes HelloFresh. HelloFresh, you want to sponsor us? I think that's 3 episodes in a row we've done that.
I think it is. We'll just get that before it actually.
It'd be great if we did.
It'd be hilarious.
But my dumpling sauce, it should be 1 teaspoon of sugar. To everything else, I do 2 teaspoons of sugar, just granulated sugar. It works just fine. To 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of water, and then 2-ish tablespoons of soy sauce. I would say just kind of keep pouring it as you pour it out of the spoon until like the part of it that's left on the side of the bowl kind of turns a vague yellowish color. That's a sign that you're done.
I'm just gonna make a pretty graphic of your dumpling sauce recipe for when this episode airs.
Include the bowl needs to start turning yellow, please.
Oh, even better. What we put in our show notes, when we put like just a fact or like a fun fact or whatever from the episode, I'm just gonna put your dumpling sauce recipe.
I'm apparently the dumpling sauce. I am the dumpling sauce genius of my family. So that's my duty for Thanksgiving. Although I got invited to a Friendsgiving this year. I have to find out what they want me to bring.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
All my friends live too far away from me. I even make the pies from scratch too, though. So that's really funny. You're like dumpling sauce, and I'm sitting here like, I make my own pie dough.
I make condiments.
I'll even sometimes get pie pumpkins and roast my own pumpkin for the puree.
Nice.
I love doing this stuff. It's my favorite. And of course, I'm always in charge of deviled eggs.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I found pretty egg dishes recently that I want to
Ooh.
get.
Oh, nice.
I am an old lady.
We've established this already. It's fine.
Yeah. So I even wrote too that like I can't wait to hear Lauren's comment on Louise's bachelor line. Please tell me I was accurate that you wrote something down about Louise talking about the bachelor.
I wrote down, no, not bachelor jokes this early.
I knew it.
Just Bob with the turkeys. I'm like, especially Gene's line of, I hope he waits to get it home before he stuffs it. And I just wrote Gene in all caps.
I just wrote that turkey is our mom now.
I was like, I love Thanksgiving as much as the next person, but like maybe a little. I wrote I love Thanksgiving too, Bob, and then I almost wrote down, okay, maybe not that much, because so Bob is like this about all meat, not just beef. Good to know.
Yes, he loves his turkeys.
Yeah.
He eventually does get also very excited for other Thanksgiving foods. I can't wait for you to see that one as well, because it's just, it brings back some other like nostalgic memories.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot wait. I'm just going to let you sit on that one.
Great.
What did you think of Linda's Thanksgiving song?
It's been stuck in my head since I watched this last week, because I generally try to watch the episodes like roughly like Thursday, Friday before we record. For context, we record on Mondays. And I had it stuck in my head for a good couple of days.
Pass the cranberry
Very
sauce.
sauce.
We're having mashed potatoes.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being there.
Thank you for having me. Oh. I mean, how often do you get Thanksgiving songs, though? We
Not
really
very
go from
often.
Halloween music. We go from Halloween music straight to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some Thanksgiving songs. Linda provided.
Linda provides the Thanksgiving song, and honestly, I might add. I'm assuming a version of this is on some music streaming service.
It's on Spotify.
It's on Spotify. Okay.
Actually, so you know those pictures of the vinyl records I sent you?
Uh-huh.
Those are on Spotify.
Okay, perfect.
You can
so
just
I might
listen
be adding
to all of Bob's.
Oh, great. So I might be adding Linda's Thanksgiving song to a couple of my playlists that have just become amalgamations of the randomest stuff that I feel like listening to these days, which is the weirdest combinations of, there's Britney Spears in there, there's some Queen, we have Sway by Michael Bublé, that's been stuck in my head for weeks.
Okay, Linda deserves to be next to Britney Spears.
I think so. So it's a great combination of, I think Linda will be moved into a few playlists.
And this is kind of like a little insight to eventually getting actual just straight up songs in some of the episodes. This show gets very musical eventually. And I think you're really going to love that.
I like it.
Like there's one episode I have in mind that is an automatic 30 for me. It's got a song in it that I sing along with every time. I'll be laying in bed watching this in the middle of the night, and I'll just sit there like kind of quietly humming along or singing, and my husband's just like, shut up. But I'm like, but the song. I wrote down the one line, your sperm did wonderfully. What?
That lady, her name was Shelby? Is that what I wrote down?
Oh, is that what? Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yes, it's Shelby.
I just wrote down, this woman is awful. I love her. She's the epitome of a rich lady with eccentric ideals.
And you know, lots of gun skills.
And bullets.
And then I did love the one line from Bob. One for me and one for Bob. I'm very good at drinking this.
I wrote down, no, Bob, don't drink the absinthe.
So I told Lauren she had a task earlier today.
I did have a task.
Because while watching the episode, I was like, the kids and Linda all start just spitting out what the actual favorite holidays for them are. Because apparently Bob's the only one that likes Thanksgiving. Yeah. So I was like, Lauren, what are your top 5? Start with 5 and work your way up.
So, okay. So again, as we prefaced earlier, Katie is pagan and I am Jewish. So our holidays are vastly different. And I did kind of put this on like memories I have attached to the holidays. So 5 for me would be Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year, because I have a lot of memories of my family going to my grandma's house, to my aunt's house. There's playing with my cousins. Like there's a lot of memories attached to that holiday. Similarly, number 4 then would be Hanukkah, which is the Jewish gift-giving holiday that American Jews shoved into Christmas. Which I want to say, I want to just here's your education for people that don't know. Hanukkah, while being at the same time as Christmas, is not as big a deal in the Jewish religion as Christmas. We have our whole High Holy Days situation, and we have other days that are much more important in the religion. Hanukkah is just the festival of, I mean, it's another holiday that's Remember That We Suffered. That's all Jewish holidays. But for anyone that's seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, or even if you haven't, just watch this.
I love
just
Crazy
watch the
Ex-Girlfriend.
song from season 2, Remember That We Suffered. You don't need any context. I don't even care that Patti LuPone is playing the rabbi. It's fine. The song is hilarious. But so Hanukkah is another Remember That We Suffered holiday if you really delve into like the mythos of it.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't want to admit where I mostly learned about Hanukkah
was it the
from.
Rugrats? Oh, okay.
No. 8 Crazy Nights. Where most non-Jewish people learn about Hanukkah.
Put on your yarmulke.
Exactly.
Here comes Hanukkah. I love that. I love that song.
I know, me too. Oh man.
So that's Hanukkah's number 4.
Okay.
Number 3 for me is Halloween. I enjoy it now more as an adult. I enjoy spooky season more as an adult. I wasn't always the biggest trick-or-treater, I think, just because my neighborhood is a lot of hills.
Ooh, that's fair.
And it's the day after my birthday, so like I always had a weird thing of like everyone always asking my birthday party was a Halloween party. I'm like, no, it's my birthday party. Why would it be a Halloween party? Like what is this? But now as an adult, I enjoy spooky season a lot more. So that's definitely got the number 3 spot for me. Number 2 is just regular New Year's Eve. That one for me has a lot of memories because my friends in high school, we had a New Year's Eve party. I want to say from junior year of high school all the way through 2019, 2020. That was our very last one. Because my one best friend, she kind of lived central for the friend group, so it made sense, and her family was always good with hosting. We didn't do anything crazy. Like even once we all turned 21, the difference was we just also got drunk while we do it. But like no one was crazy and loud. We spent most of the time doing either board games, Mario Kart tournaments, Smash Brothers tournaments.
I will do Mario Kart with you one year. Oh my goodness.
We will do Mario Kart. Like we really didn't do a whole, but it's at that point. That's how many years? That's like 8-9 years where like my entire high school friend group got together like through college, past college. Like we all just still came back at New Year's and we did a Secret Santa usually. So there's just a lot of really fun memories attached to New Year's Eve for me. And then number 1 for me is Thanksgiving. I think again, because a lot of memories. I like the food. It's one of the holidays that my immediate family would host. So we didn't have to travel anywhere. It was just, I like all the food. The food is always good. A lot of memories attached to it. We have a lot of stories that we like to joke like amongst my family about stuff that has happened in previous years. So again, it's with all of these holidays for me, there's a lot of specific memories attached to them, which is why they're in my top 5.
So mine's different apart from, so I include birthdays in mine for a very specific reason.
You're saying Rosh Hashanah isn't on your top 5? I'm shocked.
Oh no, sorry. I don't even know what I don't know.
Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Rush. It's two. I realize I say it very quickly. It's two. It's
very.
2 words. Rosh. Hashanah.
Hashanah. So Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the lesson.
The way you say you're welcome. The way you say Happy New Year is Lashana Tova.
Lashana Tova?
Yes.
I appreciate the education.
Happy New Year.
So for me, I grew up Baptist, but all of our like holidays was still very family centered.
Okay.
But I'm a big history buff, so I've never been huge on Thanksgiving because I love history, and
yeah, that's fair.
Everyone should know by now. So I start my number 5 as my husband's birthday because I love birthdays. Even though mine's coming up soon, I'm not gonna love that one. My husband grew up Jehovah's Witness and never got to really celebrate his birthday. So ever since we started dating, it's one of my favorite days because I get to do everything I can to make his birthday wonderful. And he's slowly getting used to it because first he was like, it really doesn't matter. And I'm like, shut up, I'm spoiling you. And he's really started to enjoy it, and we make plans for it now, and he's really starting to love it. He doesn't usually let me do like birthday candles or anything, but I always make him, he really loves spice cake, so I'll make like spice cake from scratch for him for his birthday. I'll get steaks and cook him up a dinner, just things you do for someone you love. And I always try to give him like a good gift, but like I really love my husband's birthday. That's my number 5, and it's because of the way he grew up, because we grew up, birthdays were very important. He didn't get that, so it's me just getting to love him. My number 4 is not a normal holiday.
None of mine
for
are.
most people. Well, I'm pagan, so I like to follow more of your pagan holidays that spoiler for a lot of holidays, your holidays are actually pagan.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Sorry to burst people's bubbles.
Sorry, like even down to the holiday of Imbolc. It's
Mm.
spelled Imbolc, but it's pronounced Imbolc.
Mm-hmm.
It's Groundhog's Day. I'm not kidding.
I know you're not.
It really is, because it's just another day celebrating like the coming of spring. You've been stuck in winter for so long, because pagan holidays are all about this cycles of nature. We follow nature very heavily, and the cycle is important.
Yeah.
And so number 4 is midsummer for me. Midsummer is the solstice. This is summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year. For me, the midsummer is just like, we're in the middle. Summer's ending soon.
There you go. It's not just a horror film.
It's not just a horror film. That film is very good.
I have seen that one. I do love that one.
I love that one.
The fact that I love that one confuses my girlfriend. She's like, you don't like horror films? I'm like, yes, but I like Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's still better than Don't Worry, Darling. So
it's a psychological thriller. It's not like, it doesn't do jump scares. It's just bizarre.
It's very bizarre, and I do like the Scandinavian feel to it as well, and I like that they went that route with it. But no, midsummer is a wonderful holiday. It's the longest day of the year. We really just celebrate being alive. For me, in my household, it's the sun is here. It's the longest day of the year, and we just try to enjoy it. I like to make like sun tea, and I'll bake sometimes. I don't really open up the windows here because I live in Georgia. It's like 100 degrees at that time. Number 3 is my birthday, because I get to celebrate that. 2 is Yule. Yule is the other solstice, and it is the shortest day of the year, and it's where Christmas derives from. Well, some of Christmas. A lot of the traditions that you associate with, like, bringing in the Christmas tree and even decorating it sometimes, just a lot of those traditions. Even mistletoe is more pagan than it is Christian. Or Santa. Like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to go into a whole spiel about that, but I love Yule because it's the shortest day of the year, and like a lot of traditions, it's welcoming back the sun goddess, if you have one, sun god, sun goddess, and just welcoming back the fact that winter is also almost over. You're halfway there. I
do feel the need to tell you that I have a friend of mine that, for whatever reason, for the last like maybe almost 10 years, we text each other on the solstice, on every solstice and every equinox. I don't know why. I don't know when it started, and I don't know why. We just started doing it, I think, in college. So it's probably like the better part of the last 10 years we've just been doing that.
Because your equinoxes are, in pagan terms, Mabon and Ostara. I don't like to go too much into Ostara because there's too many arguments over Easter, Passover, and Ostara, and I'm like, they're all different things.
Yeah,
all of them are different. And then Mabon is it's the first day of fall, and it's essentially, for a lot of people, it's the pagan Thanksgiving. I would love to move my Thanksgiving to then if I could, but trying to explain to my family that I'd rather get together in September instead of November makes sense to none of them. So we just keep doing this. And to no surprise, Halloween / Samhain, it is not pronounced Samhain, is my favorite holiday. Surprise, surprise.
I am so shocked. I never would have guessed this in my life.
I love Halloween for obvious reasons. I get to be myself, and no one actually thinks I'm completely weird.
If someone has never seen any clips that we've posted on TikTok, Katie has a tiny dismembered skeleton, like a plastic one. I need to preface this. It's a toy. It's just sticking up on her microphone the entire time. We've dubbed him Little Skeleton Buddy. He's now our podcast mascot.
He is our podcast mascot. I'm the one that's like, ooh, horror movies. Ooh, this is really gruesome. This is really chaotic. Like, I am your Halloween person. It fits the aesthetic. But I've always been that way. And now I get to do it with my kids, which is so much more fun. Yeah. My daughter's now planning her costume for next year. We're recording this November 6th. My daughter is already planning next Halloween. I have done well fantastic. As a mother.
It's only 365 days until next Halloween. 364.
And then one day you will have a Bob's Burgers meme to go along with the day after day after Halloween as well. Okay. I cannot wait for that one. And then I had one last thing I really wanted to talk about with this episode before we go through. I know this one's going long, but I had to do this.
It's fine.
Okay. This episode frustrates me sometimes because while Bob gets obscenely drunk, dealing with the emotions of his family not wanting to participate in the Thanksgiving traditions, Bob also should have accepted that they were trying to get 5 months of no rent. That would have helped them get way further ahead and do really well. But also, the family should at least have tried a little bit to be there more for Bob.
It's a little bit of kind of like an everyone's the asshole situation, like, or maybe no one's the asshole kind of thing, somewhere in between. I don't disagree with that. I think I wrote down I wouldn't do this for anything less than a year's worth of rent personally.
Yeah.
With like how much he clearly would have gone for an entire year probably at that point. So I don't disagree with either stance that like he probably should have just sucked it up and taken like the 5 months rent. But maybe they not get so sucked into the gamification and tickets of pretending to be good fish odor children.
And maybe, how did Shelby not see that?
She wasn't paying
attention.
Like
passing all the tickets was hilarious.
It was great.
But yeah,
there was a reference in here that I caught that you didn't mention, and I don't know if it was a true reference, but I this is what I heard it as.
Okay.
In Bob's hallucinated speech, he says, "I am what I am," which is like that's. I don't remember what point of the speech that was, but I don't know if this was meant to be a reference to this, but that's the way my brain processed it. Which is a reference to the song "I Am What I Am" from La Caja Falls, which is the musical version of the play that The Birdcage is based on.
Oh, I did not know that. Nothing is listed in the wiki or any notes anywhere that is what it's from, but knowing the writers of these episodes, they slip so much in that isn't even like on the wiki, in all honesty. We've picked up on things that were like, this feels like a reference, but it's not listed as one.
Yeah.
What did you rate this one?
So I gave this one a 10 for plot. This is just pure chaos from beginning to end. And I was really enjoying that. I gave it a 7 for plot, I think for the reason that you mentioned, that Bob probably should have just kind of sucked it up and gotten the money, but also maybe they should have made a little bit more of an effort with it.
Yeah.
And I gave it a 9 for personal because this was just plenty enjoyable. So this one got a 26 out of 30, which is just a nicely high rated episode.
I gave it an 8 for plot because there were some issues within it of like maybe discuss if you're gonna kiss the man's wife while she's pretending. Like maybe discuss that ahead of time.
Yeah.
A 9 for character because we got the Bob family being the Bob family, and yes, I said Bob family, not Belcher, because this was personal. I gave it an 8, so this is a 25 for me.
Okay,
I'm not mad about it. Wait,
no, it's good scores overall.
Oh yeah. Now for this, we may talk about this one for a minute too, but the next is season 3, episode 6, The Deepening. Fish Odor is trying to figure out a new attraction to add to the Wonder Wharf, so he asks the Belcher children to help him pick one.
Naturally.
Bob suggests using the town's history of the making of a shark movie called The Deepening. Fish Odor gets the actual mechanical shark from the movie and adds it to the Wonder Wharf attractions. The kids attempt to cut the fin off of the shark, knocking it over, and it is full of gas. It moves. The mechanical shark breaks out of the Wonder Wharf and down Ocean Avenue towards the restaurant. Can Bob save Ocean Avenue and his restaurant from the shark that haunts Teddy's past? That is the only way I felt I could sum that up, because so much happens in this episode.
Yeah.
Did you get your vacant storefront?
I did. That was Butt Stuff Underwear Outlet.
Play on the sexual reference for butt stuff. And the sign, the extra sign, doesn't say anything. It's literally just men's underwear in the window. And then your pest control van.
That was Wild Wild Rat.
It's Wild Wild Pest.
A Wild Wild Pest?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that makes more sense.
The picture is in my notes if you run over there, but
that makes more sense.
And it does say on the wiki that it's the play on the title, of course, The Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
But they actually gave us when that was first used. It's first used for the 1921 short Western film. It was directed by Lee Colmar and featured Hoot Gibson. So they even gave us that little tidbit.
Nice.
And how many burgers of the day?
I got 2, but I'm not sure if the second one is correct.
Okay. There is 2.
Okay. Because that one was like I missed it. I didn't rewind it. I just kind of wrote down what I thought I saw. The first one is she's a super leek burger, comes with braised leeks.
Play on the line. She's a super freak from the song Super Freak.
Braised leeks just don't sound good on a burger.
No.
Like caramelized onions, like I get that. Even a caramelized leek, you can give me that. But braised?
Mm-hmm. I don't know why braised.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I got the let's get frise burger, I think is what I wrote down, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
Because it's the play on the phrase let's get busy or bizet.
Yeah, bizet. And frise is green.
Do you have any idea what this is a parody of?
Couldn't possibly be Jaws.
No, of course not. It's Jaws. So there's quite a few references. I'm loving this because I love sharks. I have a shark tooth tattooed on my ankle. I am obsessed with sharks. I would say it's a problem, but I get to watch lots of documentaries and I have an excuse.
Before we get started, can I tell you what my favorite Jaws reference in any other piece of media ever is?
Yes, please.
So I think it's 1980 is the movie. The opening scene of the movie Airplane, for anyone that's seen that. It's
been so long since I have.
It's a parody movie. They make fun of everything, but the opening scene of it is it's clouds, and you hear the Jaws music behind, and you see I guess the end of an airplane wing as it goes across the screen and back across the screen, and then eventually with like the epic da-da, that music is when the plane just like flies over the camera. I love the chaos that is that movie, but that is to this day one of my favorite Jaws references.
That makes me very happy. I haven't seen that in a really long time. I need to go back and watch it.
It's a great movie.
So we have some characters that actually represent the three characters in Jaws.
Okay.
Within this parody of it. So Bob is meant to be Sheriff Martin Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy represents the bounty hunter Quint. And Mort represents Matt Hooper. And it did also say in the wiki that like Mr. Fischoeder is probably like Mayor Larry Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely did quite a bit of that, like putting that in there. The other one, like the other references, is like Teddy pretending to scratch the chalkboard.
Yeah.
Teddy's vendetta towards the shark is like Quint's obsession with the shark in Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy falling into the shark's mouth is also a reference to Jaws. And then my favorite one of Teddy just yelling, "We're gonna need a bigger restaurant," with the "we're gonna need a bigger boat." But Bob just going, "Really?" Bob being like, "Come on." Like, it was so wonderful. I have a few other like fun facts, but the first one is the supervising director, Bernard Derriman, is caricatured as the man vacuuming while wearing headphones in a property along Ocean Avenue, which the shark smashes the glass. And his name tag says Derriman.
Oh, okay.
So they put him in the episode.
I like when people do that.
I really love when they do that. In every episode after this, there are visible shark bites on the side of the ice cream machine.
That makes sense. Honestly, I was expecting this to be the end of the ice cream machine.
They keep it because Bob spent so much money on it.
True.
But that's what I've loved. Like when they added the ice cream machine, it's been a constant since. Now this has happened to the ice cream machine. It's a constant since. Like continuity is. I love the continuity of this show because it's not something you usually get.
Considering it sometimes is better than our plot-heavy show, which is the other half of this podcast.
I know. It's hilarious. This is the first episode where you get to see Gretchen wearing her actual clothes. Because she wore the Lobster Maiden dress in Lobster Fest. In Beef Squash, she's only in a towel. And in Full Bars, she's dressed as a cheerleader.
Yeah.
So another Jaws reference, when Bob's attempting to blow his block captain whistle, a caricatured version of Jaws director Steven Spielberg can be seen behind Tina and Mr. Fischoeder.
Oh, I like that.
The sign on the door of the restaurant when the townspeople are gathered, the sign reads, "Emergency all block shark stopping meeting."
Yeah.
And then the other one, I don't know if I can talk to you about it yet. I have to wait. But I want you to keep this episode in mind in the future. Because this episode could very likely be the reason for something way in the future.
Okay.
So one day we may be getting to come back to this.
Okay. Is there a deepening sequel? Possibly?
There is not a deepening sequel,
Okay.
but there's something that, because of the deepening, possibly they say it's a fan theory, but I don't think it's a fan theory. I think it very much is canon.
Okay.
Ties into something way later.
Okay.
So I hope you see it, like, put the points together. It's likely you won't, but I hope you get to one day. I put it together today.
Okay. That's fair.
So that helps there. Like, I was literally like, holy shit.
Uh-huh.
So I'm hoping one day you can be like, oh my god, this is how that happened. It's... And the fact that it's all the way back to season 3 makes me angry.
I know. Well, now you know how I feel when we get to Once Upon a Time episodes that I've seen tens of times. And I'm like, I heard this line that I've never heard before. And I've been watching this show for 12 years.
I only have a couple of notes, and then I'm going to pass everything on to you because I really want to hear how you felt about this episode, because I love Jaws. I have
some fun ones.
Because, like, my husband even got me the big Jaws Funko Pop where he has the canister in his mouth.
Oh.
I have that, and it's big, and I love it. Like, I love sharks, and great whites are my favorite. I have the shark tooth on my right ankle. My left ankle, I'm actually going to get a shark, like, circling my ankle. I just haven't picked out which shark I want to get, because pretty sure it looks somewhat like a great white shark tooth on my ankle. I'm not sure exactly which one I chose.
Sorry, I've been looking for something that I needed you to see, because Emily got me this for my birthday.
Oh, okay. Is that a shark onesie?
It's a shark blanket.
Oh, blanket? I have a shark onesie.
I'm supposed to be able to be in it with the hood. It doesn't really fit me. Because I'm a larger than average human. I did cut open the fin at the bottom, so that way I could kind of stick my feet out in hopes I can get the hood over my head. It still doesn't quite fit because my rib cage is on the broad side. But I use it as I'm being eaten by a shark lap robe, basically.
I love it. I have a shark onesie that I love to wear.
It's fuzzy.
The joke is, if my husband comes home and I'm wearing the shark onesie, he stays far away. If you get my drift.
Yes. I do. On Emily, this is a shark onesie. She fits in it just fine. I am a human being.
Which means I would too.
I am a human being with a very broad ribcage, apparently.
That just keeps getting close to tiny humans.
Yeah, I attract tiny witchy humans, apparently.
I don't have words for that one, but you're welcome. Can we just start off with that these rides sound horrible?
Oh yeah, I wrote them down.
Oh, you wrote them down?
I wrote down Jam Slam sounds dirty. Scarousel sounds horrifying.
Yep.
And Hogwash also sounds awful.
Like, the Scarousel's the worst of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was like dead horse skeletons.
Yeah. I'm like, one makes you sticky, one makes you muddy, and another is literal horse skeletons.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
The movie, when they're actually showing the parody movie in the middle of the restaurant, in the middle of the day, I was like, this movie is so far from appropriate to show in the middle of the day in a burger restaurant.
Yep.
They're like, oh, titties, oh, this, oh, that, oh, now here's a normal scene. And I'm like, you're showing your children are right there. But
it's like, this movie is a lot of topless car wash.
Yes. And I'd like to say that I would also side with the shark. I agree with Tina.
Yeah. Shark's just misunderstood.
How did you feel when they pretty much just kept weaponizing the shark more and more?
It was... I'm not sure. What do you mean by that?
Remember, okay, so they kept trying to do things to get the shark to stop, but then instead they gave it spikes.
Oh, okay.
They made it like electrical, like,
and made it fast.
And they made it fast. They did, like, I mean, that thing literally it had spikes on its tail. It was covered in electricity, like electrified, and just became a massive weapon.
Yeah, I mean, that honestly is about what I would expect out of these kinds of ideas. Like, he's like, now for our best and last plan. Like, why was your best one your last one? Well, because we didn't know the other ones were terrible.
Right? I love that they're all worried about the restaurant, but they literally live above the restaurant, and the whole building could collapse.
Yeah, especially with how much, like, that thing, like, it came up from the foundation.
Yeah, it went into the basement, up from the foundation, and I'm like, how is this place standing still?
It shouldn't
have been. And my favorite line of the whole episode, I'm literally grasping at straws.
I wrote that down too.
Oh, what are your notes?
For some reason I wrote down it's an extra medium when the ice cream machine kept going. It's an extra medium. because apparently I've seen videos of someone that does the stats of like what an extra medium really would be, because extra as a prefix onto things does certain things depending on what your item is, and extra medium is just a medium. Block and quadrant captain are definitely fake jobs, is what I wrote down. Although apparently block captain is real, apparently, for this episode.
Yeah. It was a interesting use of Hugo.
Yeah. I did like the perfect cross-section of American youth. Boy, girl, and Tina.
Yes. It's accurate.
I think you'll appreciate this. Is the shark haunted like a Furby?
Oh, you had to say Furbies.
I had to.
I've been terrified of Furbies since I was a child.
I mean, same. I begged my parents for one, but then mine definitely was haunted. We took the batteries out of that thing, and it kept going.
Those things are terrifying, and they're coming back.
I saw, and they should go back to the burning hole of hell where they belong.
Look, I'm fine with Tamagotchis coming back. That one, yes, please. Let's torture the children. But maybe leave the nightmares out with the Furbies.
Exactly. Like, Tamagotchis, while annoying, teach valuable life lessons. Furbies are just gremlins that you even still can't get wet because you'll electrocute them. So it's the same thing.
They're more terrifying once they've been like dropped in water, by the way.
I don't want to know why you know that.
It wouldn't drown.
No. I also think you'll appreciate this one. Tina, honey, please don't become the kind of person who has feelings for inanimate objects.
Oh, no.
Like, I know it was a lot of Free Willy references, and I get it, but just my first thought was, like, the person that thinks that she's married to the Eiffel Tower.
I made, like, a whole different connection with Tina on this one, because if you remember from the pilot, they make an autistic joke about Tina, but within the fan base, so many of us are just like, no, like, Tina really does have autistic qualities.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the process of figuring things out for myself, so I really do see myself in Tina at times. And today with the shark, I was just like, I relate.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here talking about my obsession with sharks, which those of us, I'm not saying people who are autistic tend to have our things that we latch onto. So I relate.
Yeah. My last funny note, I mean, other than it ate its way into the basement, what is this robot made out of? Was just...
It's from the 80s, man.
Yeah. Morg's line of, morgs aren't quiet, and then I just wrote in all caps, shouldn't they be, though?
How did Mort survive, by the way?
I mean, my guess is the thing is hollow. I'm sure he probably just slid through the bottom.
But, like, it keeps moving, and that's a lot of weight if it moves and hits him, but he was fine.
He was fine. I also wrote down for him when he was doing his stand-up thing, Mort, honey, please don't quit your day job.
Nope, don't do it. But also when he was, in one of the episodes today, he said, morgues aren't quiet.
Yeah, I said that's one. I just said morgues aren't quiet, but shouldn't they be, though?
Yeah, they should be. I'm sorry. My brain is mush after the heart rate decided to jump up.
No, you're fine. And also, we recorded an hour-long episode of Once Upon a Time before this, which hopefully will not be an hour when anyone listens to it. Morgues should be quiet. In my opinion, I guess, maybe if the machinery to embalm people makes noise.
I need a mortician.
Well, you're our mortuary science expert at this point, so...
Oh, wow. Okay, I need to do some
research. We need a mortician. We really do. Someone please tell us, are morgues quiet? Are morgues quiet?
I'm Googling. Are morgues quiet?
Is it really an episode of our podcast if we don't have to Google something halfway through?
People who work in the morgue, what do we want to know and what don't we want to know? What? Reddit save me. Oh my god.
Like, if it's not quiet because, like, they're playing music, I'm okay with that. I don't want it to be not quiet because body parts make noise.
Oh, I'm so curious about some of these. Oh, these are some weird ones. Oh.
We're now down a rabbit hole.
Your eyes are open after you die. I think a lot of us know that. But the creepiest part of it is also there's a light behind your eyes that go out once you die. Your eyes look matte afterwards. Oh, they stick cotton up your nose and your butt so you don't leak. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
I can't seem to find anything on if it's quiet or not. But there's some interesting
It's okay.
Please, because there's some interesting things in this Reddit.
Morticians listening to our podcast.
I'm concerned. Can y'all just burn me, please? Just cremate me. Oh, that one's the funniest one. I considered this for a while. If you donate your body to science, I'm sorry to say, you will almost absolutely not end up in one piece. I love the way that's typed, though.
Nah, that's fair.
Apparently, I now have to go deep dive down the rabbit hole of morticians and morgues now, because that's how my brain works.
If any morticians are listening, our Instagram is obdyk_pod. Please send us a DM. Are morgues quiet? And if not, please tell us why in the least graphic way possible.
And I'm hoping it's just like, do you just listen to music while you're working? Because I feel like I would definitely be the one like, let me put my headphones on. Or like, not headphones maybe, because there's dead bodies everywhere. But I'd probably like have some setup.
A radio
to play some music while I'm embalming, because... Mm-hmm. There's dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah. No, I think, I really want to think that a lot of mortuaries just have Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees playing on a constant loop.
I mean, if they're that type of autistic. If that's their song.
I think they should do it.
Look, I can't stop listening to Hamilton on repeat, so that's been the comfort playlist lately. Mm-hmm. It's because I know every word by heart, and it's comforting.
No, that's fair. I could sing for you. I won't, but I can. I could. The entire soundtrack of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
I haven't seen that.
It's an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. It's the the biblical story of Joseph and the plague of Canaan and all that. The movie version of it is with Donny Osmond. Maria Friedman plays the narrator. The narrator is a dream role of mine that will never happen because I'm not really doing theater anymore. I just love her part. But the way that the movie was done was so well done, because it was staged like they were like telling the story for a school like assembly kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And like all the people that are the teachers at the beginning end up being the other actors in the show, and it kind of like goes into like they still kind of do the whole like it's a school play kind of situation like throughout it. It's a very cool facade, and it's a great movie. It's a great movie adaptation of that stage production. I think it works really well, considering like part of it is designed as this massive chorus of kids. That's part of the show, like as it's written.
Okay, that's really cool. I have to look into it eventually.
It's really cool. It's really cool. I recommend it. That is one of my favorite musicals, but I really could just sing it for you now.
I love that. So
I won't, but I could.
What did you rate this?
This one almost got 8s across the board. I got an 8 for plot, an 8 for character. I did give it a 7 per personal, purely because that is far too much of Teddy than I ever needed to see.
With his boidle?
I didn't need to see him without his boidle.
But did you ever know what a boidle was?
Is that a real thing?
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
That's one of those things that I'm like, why are we putting gender on something that's a girdle?
It's literally just a compression garment. Just put it on your body.
It's exactly. For me, it's just like, they probably call it a boidle because the joke with girdle, boidle. Yeah. But it really is just a compression garment. That's one of those things I'm like, I don't care.
We don't need this.
We don't need this. Is it any surprise that this is a 30 for me?
Not at all.
Not at all. I mean, sharks, Jaws, chaos, weaponized shark, digging holes. What?
Giant. I don't know. Just dropping things in holes on its chaos. I don't know. I'm just coming up with chaotic reasons.
I loved this one. This is one of my favorites. It comes on and there is no sleeping because I have to watch it.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 116, Heart of Darkness. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. And follow us at obdyk_pod on Instagram and TikTok.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.